So let's go ahead and get started with the recording.
The recording has started.
Thank you. Thank you, Boyd. Helps to have an IT person hanging out in the Teams meeting. All right. Well, we're going to get started with Ms. Gwen Baker, our Director of Dual Enrollment, to kick things off.
I'm not going to talk but just a minute. I'm just going to say welcome to you guys. Hope you have a great fall semester at Calhoun. We really appreciate you guys participating in the Dual Enrollment program with Calhoun. We're going to go over some information that we hope is helpful to you as you get started in the program. At the end, there will be time for questions. So if you have questions, just hold them till the end. And we're going to try to keep this to an hour so we can be mindful of your time, and also so we can be mindful of the time of the people who are watching it and are going to be watching it in the future. So I'm Gwen Baker. I'm the Dual Enrollment Director. My office is in Decatur. If you ever have any questions, please let me know. And if you have any issues during the year, if you'll let us know on the front end, we will be glad to help you. If you come and talk to us about it in December, we'll do what we can. Okay? So let us know early if you're having any problems or questions or anything, and we'll be happy to help you with it. And I hope you have a great semester at Calhoun. And I'm going to introduce our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Wes Rakestraw, and he's going to do a brief welcome. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are y'all? Y'all look happy to be here. We're happy you are here. Dr. Hodges is our president, and he had another engagement that he had to go to, and it's my pleasure to get to welcome you here. I want you to understand you're a Calhoun Warhawk, and what that means is that we're glad you're here. We want, back up.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't like being on camera. I'd rather stand over there. But we are glad you're here. You are a Warhawk, is what I was saying. That means that we kind of want to put a little contract out there with you, just as my personal contract with you. You do your best, you do college level work, and do all you can to succeed. And what I'm going to do from the academic side with our faculty and through the departments is make sure that your instruction is relevant, so it's exciting, it's instruction that matters, and it will help you moving forward, that you experience a positive culture, that people are nice, and when people are not nice, that's just not acceptable. So you let me know. And then the third one is that it's an inclusive environment, that everybody feels welcome and cared for. And that's really what I'm here to try to help ensure. So welcome to Calhoun. If you ever need me, it's Wes Rakestraw, just like you would rake straw, okay? Okay. And Vice President of Academic Affairs. Welcome to Calhoun.
Thank you, sir. All right, so as you know, we're going to have several people coming to represent their departments. So let's go ahead and get started with our ADA representative, Dr. Ina Wilson.
Am I in the? I'm the shortest one, so I'm going to be in the camera range. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Ina Wilson Smith. I am the Director of Student Disability Services, Title IX, and Mental Health Counseling. That's a lot. We're only going to talk briefly about two of those today, but on behalf of Disability Services and Student Services, I just want to welcome you as well. And like Mr. Rakestraw said, you are a Warhawk now. Welcome to the Warhawk family, and that extends to your families as well. They are part of us and now, so we're glad you're here. So my office falls under Student Services. You heard me say that. So there are several things. You've already applied for admission. You may have applied for financial aid. You may have even talked to our Career Services Department. Those are some of the other departments that fall under Student Services. But mine specifically deals with disability services. So coming directly from high school, you may be familiar with maybe someone, either you have one, don't raise your hand, we don't want to violate anyone's privacy, but you or someone you know may have an IEP or a 504 plan. If you have one of those, or one of your friends has one of those and they're coming here as well, you might want to say, hey, go by the Disability Services or ADA office on one of the campuses. Because unlike your IEP and 504, that falls under a different law for K-12. So colleges and companies fall under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So there's a few more steps that you have to take to be able to get services here. It's probably going to be some of the same services. We don't have resource teachers, so to speak, but we do have this wonderful resource. This room we're in right now is part of STAR Institute, which provides some tutoring services and other life skills trainings, multiple things here. we provide extended time for exams, depending on what your disability is, may provide a reader or a scribe, and those are just some of the more common accommodations that we provide. In terms of what disabilities qualify, it's anything that qualifies under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So that can be, one of our most common is anxiety. People also have autism. We have several students who have dyslexia. Some are diabetic, but there's a wide range of disabilities that qualify. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office. I am actually 2 doors past this office. So if you visited our restrooms, and you saw the sign for my office, it's just next to the back stairs. We also have one if you're in Huntsville and that's more convenient for you. We also have an office that's on the advising hallway on the Huntsville campus. So that's just a little bit about disability services. And then you'll hear more about Title IX once the fall semester starts. You'll get some trainings and some videos about that. But the thing I wanted to mention now is, this is kind of a stressful time for everybody. You've just graduated, you're signing up for classes already. Some of you may not, if you went to summer school too, you may not have even had a break. So there is a crisis line. If for some reason the college is closed, like after 5, and you need to talk to someone, this does not mean you don't have to be in great crisis. You just want to talk to somebody, and maybe you don't have a counselor easily at your reach. There's this crisis line. It's 988. I'm going to hold it up here. I think that will, yes. I'm just trying to cover my face anyway. So, but I also have some over there next to Mr. Dawes. There's a stack of these. This is for anyone, okay? So you do not have to be a high school student, college student, anything like that. This is for anyone. It's simple, 988. We have 911. We have 988. There's also, for those of you who like to text, I keep dropping my phone, so I should not text, but there's a number on here for that as well. So, and what we'll ask you is, the first thing we'll say is, are you safe? And then it will ask you, where do you live? That is not so that someone can come to your home right away. What they're trying to do is, because it's a national hotline, they're trying to match you up with someone, at least in your state, or for us, maybe in Fayetteville, because that way, if you do need to actually have services or be sent to a hospital or something, then you're already talking to someone who's familiar with the resources in your geographic location. So I just wanted to let you know about that, because that's, like I said, this is for anyone, but it's something that we really promote here. Like Mr. Rakestraw said, we are a very inclusive environment. We do not want anyone to feel uncomfortable. There are going to be times that you do. That's just the nature of any new environment. But if you ever have any questions, either call this number or please come see me in one of our offices. Thank you for your time and welcome.
All right, so next up, we're going to introduce our distance learning team, Mr. Wes Harris.
All right. Well, good morning. How is everyone? Good. Well, I'm going to, for those of you that are online, I'm going to share this screen here in just a second. Let's see. All right. Boyd, can you tell me if y'all can see that screen?
Yes, I can see you sharing the screen, yes.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, like he said, we are with the Distance Learning Department. This is Laura Moore. She's our LMS support specialist. My name is Wes Harris, and I'm the director of distance learning here at Calhoun. First of all, we were so excited to have you guys here. And I realized, first off, that not all of you are taking distance learning classes. And so that's one thing I definitely want to point out, is we do a lot more than just distance learning classes. So distance learning here at the college supports Blackboard, which is what we call our learning management system. So for most of our classes, whether they're distance learning or they're traditional classes, you will utilize Blackboard. You may take a quiz in there, you may watch a video in there, your instructor might post announcements, they communicate through Blackboard. They may post PowerPoints or PDF files, all types of things that you might need access to. And so just keep in mind that the Distance Learning Office is not just for distance learning classes. If you have any problems with any of those technologies, we're your point of contact. And Laura is actually our student point of contact. So If you call our help desk, in which I'll make sure you guys have that information here in a second, and you have a Blackboard question, you will get funneled to her. And she will be more than happy to help. So first, I just wanted to show you guys how to access Blackboard, and I'm going to show you kind of some of the resources you have available to you in there that might be helpful. So here on the Calhoun homepage, My Calhoun is up at the very top here. And if we click on that, you're going to get some information about My Calhoun and logging into My Calhoun and what all is accessible in there. But right here, we have a link to the My Calhoun portal. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And how many of you have your A number already? Okay. All right. Good job. Well, I will tell you, go ahead and memorize it. It's good to have that on hand. You will use it every time you log in. And anytime you call in, that's one of the things we'll ask you for, just so we can help identify who you are in the system. So when you log into the portal, and I think, Heath, I'm guessing you might cover more of the portal later, so I'm not going to go into in depth on that. But the portal gives you access to several things here at Calhoun, but one of those is Blackboard. And so you'll see that right here. For you, it probably will show up on this first row, so it's not down here on the second row. So when you click on Blackboard, it should automatically log you in. Now, fall classes, you might be able to see your fall courses in here, but those will not become available until that first day of the semester. So keep that in mind. There are some instructors that might make it available like a day or two early, but the vast majority of your classes will not be available until that first day of the semester. So don't worry if you don't see anything in there, you don't have access. Nothing is wrong. You know, everything will be fine. We just we don't release those until that first day of the semester. So when you first log in, you are here on the institution page. And we usually post announcements here, but what's really important right here is we have contact information for the help desk. So you can click on the help desk website and you can fill out a form if you need assistance. You can call the number, you can email them. And like I said, again, if you have questions on anything related to Blackboard, the help desk does any technology here at Calhoun, but if you have questions on anything related to Blackboard, that's going to get funneled to our office. For Laura to assist, okay? But one thing I want to point out is the Student Resource Center. This is something that we keep here in Blackboard that has just a lot of resources on the different technologies we offer, different student support services. So I know Dr. Smith, we have the Student Disability Services, so we have a link to them here in the Resource Center. We have, different information on some of the technologies we use, like Kaltura is our, if you watch a video in Blackboard, it's going to be hosted in Kaltura, okay? HonorLock is a test proctoring system. There's information on STAR. There's a lot of information in this Student Resource Center. So definitely take advantage of that. If you're looking for help with something, there might be a help document in here or a link that you might find helpful. All right. So here on the courses page, this is where you'll probably just automatically go there when you log in, okay? And yours may not look exactly like this. I think the default is actually this view, okay? But I like to see the pictures, okay? So I usually change mine to this view, and you can do that right there. So like I said, your fall courses are not going to be available until the first day of the semester. Right now, if you are registered for a course, it should show up under upcoming courses right here. So you can go to upcoming courses. I'm not enrolled in anything, but it would show up right here. You won't see it on this current courses page, okay? So this is just a course template right here. But I want to point out just a few things. So, and again, this goes for traditional face-to-face classes as well as online classes. Most of our instructors, especially in online classes, use the announcements page, and they post announcements. So that's a way for instructors to communicate to the entire course. So they may, in online classes, they post at least once a week, okay? But in a traditional class, they may not post that often, but they're gonna post whenever there's important information to communicate to you guys outside of that traditional classroom time. So maybe it's a reminder about an assignment, or maybe something has changed, or they're canceling class, or some kind of important announcement, okay? So those are posted on that page. Most instructors also send that to your Calhoun email. There's a way when they post announcements, they can forward that to your email. So keep that in mind. You can make sure you check your Calhoun email. I know Heath will probably cover that too. I don't want to steal your thunder, Heath. But you cannot hear that enough. Check your Calhoun email. Okay. That's a big thing. So that's the announcements page. The course information page. This is going to include, and there's a little list right here, information about your instructor, your syllabus, okay, will be posted on that course information page. That's very important. Your syllabus is basically your guide for that class for that semester. So, keep a copy of that, print it out if you want to, but make sure you refer back to it often, okay? That's the most important thing on that course information page. But they'll include some other information there to kind of help you get started in the course. And lastly, here is course content. Course content is where they're going to post any type of course materials. Okay, so if it's a video, PowerPoint, PDF, anything like that would be accessible under course content. Usually they have folders where they kind of divide it up by the week of the class or the module or something like that. Okay. All right. And the last thing I want to show you is there's a link to the Blackboard student orientation right here in the class. That is something, if you take an online or hybrid course here at the college, you'll be required to go through that. If you're just taking a face-to-face class, it's still a good idea to go through that because it's going to help you get oriented to Blackboard and kind of learn the ins and outs of it, okay? And so we cover things like, computer literacy, Blackboard assignments, viewing grades and feedback, Calhoun email, and then just some tips for online students, okay? All right. So that is Blackboard in a nutshell. So I'm going to log out of here.
Hey, Wes,
Yeah.
can you address like their grades in Blackboard? They're not always going to be every grade. Like that's not always a true picture of it.
Yeah. So there is a way for instructors to, they keep a grade book in Blackboard and kind of keep that online. Just keep in mind that, going throughout the semester, it may not always be like up to date to that week because there may be assignments they haven't graded, assignments they haven't entered. Maybe you turned in a paper in class and they haven't, finished grading that paper yet. So those aren't always kept up to date. Now, one thing that we started this past year is that we're asking instructors to post midterm grades. So if you're taking a full semester course, about midway through, you'll be able to, in Blackboard, view a midterm grade, and you'll be able to see it in Banner as well. And that'll just kind of help you know, like, where at that point in the semester, where you stand in that course. Okay. And if you ever have any questions about, outside of that midterm point, if you're wondering how well are you doing and kind of where you are, check those grades, but talk to your instructor too. And that's always a good question to refer to them. So yeah, great point, Gwen. All right. Well, I'm going to log out. And again, we're always happy to help in distance learning. So don't ever hesitate to contact us. Okay. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Good morning to everyone again. I'm Lisa Fletcher, and I am the Student Success Coordinator of STAR Institute, where you guys are now. And of course, STAR is our Student Tutoring Academic Resource Center. We use room 238. There are 4 breakout session rooms to my right. And then also room 240, Marty Kellum teaches our upper level math in there. And then in the general area where you all came through, if you schedule an appointment with a tutor, you'll meet with the tutor out there, and I'll just go over some things with you. I'm gonna click it to work. There we go. STAR staff, Valerie Cox serves as our director of STAR. This is Valerie. We have a good time. Marty Kellum, this is Marty. He's also our wizard. And then Felicia Taylor, she's at our Huntsville campus. And then this is Miss Fletcher, or Lisa Fletcher here at the coordinator of the CARE campus. our STAR lab and our STAR tutors, we have wonderful tutors here at STAR. Some of them are certified. We have retirees, we have volunteers who will come in, and we have tutors in all areas. The only areas that we do not have tutors right now are our advanced manufacturing. We do have one young man who is able to help with a lot of classes, but pretty much all of your classes, all of your general studies classes, you will have access to tutors. Okay, all of our tutoring or services are free, and of course, what does STAR Institute do? We do one-on-one group tutoring, course review sessions, success seminars, and then of course, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could you share your screen? And we also
I
need
am
you,
so sorry. I forgot that
it's all good. And we also need you to stay in front of the camera so we can see you.
Thank you for that chastisement, sir. I apologize. To all of you who are watching through Teams, I do apologize. Okay. Stop moving, Lisa. We also have an independent study and computer access. I do apologize. Okay, we have 2 locations to serve you. Room 230, of course, is our general room of the
Sorry,
chat.
Lisa, we still need you to share your screen.
Share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go here. Let's go here on Chrome, and we're going to click share, and then we're going to screen, and we're going to application window maybe. Yes, and we're sharing the screen.
There we go. That's it right there.
I was about to ask the question that everyone for the past few years have asked. Can you see me now? So I apologize again. Thank you all so much. Okay, 2 locations to serve you. Room 230, which is here, and then room 206 at our Huntsville STAR. What does tutoring do? Of course, we have to assist students with content review. We help to facilitate independent learning. We help to teach problem-solving skills. We help to promote critical thinking, and we help to build confidence in your study skills, in your understanding, and course success. Calhoun Cares, how can we help you be successful? Of course, with the Calhoun Cares, we care about your success here at Calhoun. So we have what's called our Calhoun cupboard. We have professional attire closet that we work.
Keith's audio has accidentally been muted. So if we could resume Heath's unmute in Teams.
All right. We're going to get it one way or the other.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
I didn't do that. I'm not taking the blame for that. I apologize for everything else. I didn't do that. Okay. So that we make sure that this is fun.
Be a fun session.
A fun session. I hope so. Back.
I'm sorry, for some reason, Heath's audio has been muted again. I just want to let everyone that is joining by Teams to be careful if you are in the people column. If you accidentally click on mute on Heath, then the rest of us are not going to be able to hear. Okay. So I just want everyone to keep that in mind, just to leave that area low.
She's dying laughing at me. I didn't do anything. I'm just holding my twiddling my thumbs. But let me hurry and finish. I provided everyone with a card. And so on the back of the card, it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to schedule an appointment. What will happen once you schedule an appointment, you can schedule one either virtually or in person. Our hours for this semester, the fall semester, will be 8 to 5 in person, and then from 5 to 9 online. And then after 9 and on Fridays and weekends, we have you guys will have access to what we call tutor.com. Okay. Are there any questions for Ms. Fletcher? I am hopeful that I'll see many of you who will come in for tutoring. You may not need us the entire semester, which means it might just be a chapter that you need us to assist you in getting through. It may be just getting started on a research paper. It may be something in math that you need us, but just know that we are here. It is available to you, and best of all, it is free. Can everyone say free?
Great.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys. And believe me, I'm always prepared. I am about to stop sharing now. Back in your hands, Glenn.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
You guys remember, the STAR Institute is not just if you're struggling,
Mhm.
it's if you want to stay ahead and get it.
That's right. All right. Well, welcome everybody. It's me again. I'm just going to walk you through the process of how to log into your student accounts, how to view your schedule, how to purchase textbooks, how to find your classrooms, get parking decals, get your student ID card printed, all the things that you will interact with people on campus to get.
It's getting good.
I'm sorry? All right, so Boyd, before we get started, just to make sure there's no glitches, are you seeing our screen?
I can see and I can hear you.
Great. All right, so let's start from just the Calhoun website to show you what this looks like. Before we get started digging into the login process, we're going to hit just a few items on that agenda that I gave you guys to cover the important things. Student resources. We have student services. Dr. Patricia Wilson is our vice president of student services, and she's amazing. She's a very pro-student centered administrator, and she loves having our dual enrollment students on campus, whether you're online or on campus or at your high school campus. Please take advantage of all the student resources we have. If you go to the Calhoun website and click that little menu bar right there, if you go down to student resources, there's a student services overview right there. If you click that, it's going to open up just an overview and then all the different resources that are available for you guys as students. We have recruiters on campus. They help recruit students to the college, whether you're a dual enrollment student or if you're transitioning from graduating high school and going to become a first-time freshman with us here at Calhoun. They can assist with lots of things like financial aid, your application, enrollment questions. So reach out to them if you do have questions. Our office, Gwen and I, and our secretary, Debot, we're happy to help you with all those types of things as well. The Wellness Center. So there is a Wellness Center on both campuses. Now you as high school students, you may have access to that at your high school campus, but we want you to know you can take advantage of those resources here as well if you need. So let us know if you have questions about that. We covered kind of student activities. So we have lots of clubs, organizations, honor societies, things like that you can participate in as well. Those are probably going to be under the Calhoun Life area. Check all this stuff out. It's a very good opportunity to enrich your experience as a college student, even though you're a dual enrollment student. And if you get to go through the motions of doing this while you're a high schooler, you'll be better prepared for when you do graduate high school and become a first-time freshman. You'll kind of know the ropes better. So that's something to take advantage of. Cafeteria, food service. So we don't have a standard cafeteria, but there is food service options usually. I think we have food trucks here in Decatur on certain days, and you'll get emails about that, again, to your Calhoun email. On the Huntsville campus, there is a food service area right outside of the Star Tutoring Center, right by the bookstore and the Student Center. So if you're on campus, grab a bite to eat, help yourself, but just monitor your email for that information. And then we also have a student advocate, and the student advocate is here to help you with all kinds of things that you may need. So reach out to her if needed. The The Student Advocate Office link is right there. It kind of explains what this is, how to schedule an appointment, where her office is at. Her name is Miss Nicole Ricketts. She's a wonderful resource for students. So take advantage of her information if needed. So student responsibility, textbooks, how and where to purchase your textbooks. So if you're enrolled in classes, you may need textbooks for those classes. How do you purchase textbooks? How are you going to know which textbooks to purchase? Well, your syllabus probably will tell you that, but you could also go to the Calhoun website, calhoun.edu, click that menu bar, and then scroll down to student resources. So when you click that, the third option down says bookstore. You can click that, and then the first question, which campus, Decatur or Huntsville? If you're an online student, you may could shop either, but you just click that. Now, this is the bookstore website. Right up there in the top left is a menu bar. So if you click that, there's a textbooks arrow. You can click that and then find your textbooks. So before you go searching for textbooks, you need to know first which semester you're looking for. So right now we're focused on fall, and then shop by your department. So let's say if you were enrolled in an English class, maybe you would do the drop down, select English. Let's say it's a 101 class, and maybe it's on the Huntsville campus, section 314. Click find materials for one course, and you're going to be able to see options available for this. Looks like this one doesn't have any, but if there were available, it would show you those purchase options here. I encourage students to visit the on-campus bookstore if you want to see other options that are available online. A lot of times they have rental or used options you could purchase, which may be significantly cheaper than a brand new book, but just know that's how you do that. The Workforce Scholarship. We have a Workforce Career Tech Scholarship that helps cover the class tuition for career tech classes and textbooks and things like that. I'm going to ask Gwen to kind of speak about that and how to expect when those scholarship payments are going to be made and how that kind of works, if you don't mind, Gwen.
So if you're in a career technical class, if you're in a health science class, if you're in a computer science class, child development, criminal justice, those are the programs that we fund through our workforce development scholarships. And those scholarships will pay for 2 classes per semester per student. And they pay for either 2 career tech classes, or if you're in a math, a science, or an English, or an other approved class, it will also pay for that class. Those scholarships pay for tuition and textbooks for the career technical classes if books are required, and they pay for tuition only for the academic classes. Most of you guys, if you're in a career tech class and you didn't just register in the last couple of weeks, we transfer the funds at the end of July. So everything that has been transferred, that is going to be transferred for your workforce scholarship, has been transferred. So if you're in a career tech class and you go in and you see you still have a balance and you see you've already gotten an award, that means that there's still a balance that you have to take care of. So if you're in 4 classes, we're only paying for 2 of those. So if you have questions about the workforce scholarships, you can email us. If you email us or call us right now, please be patient, because we are covered up with emails and calls. And so we're getting back to everybody as quickly as we can, but sometimes it's taking a day or 2 to get back to everybody. So, and like I said, those cover those areas. And then we also have the academic support scholarship for the fall. So if you're in academic classes only and you haven't applied for that, it's a $250 scholarship. We have a lot of funds for that, and we are not close to the end of that in terms of funding. The scholarship deadline is August the 15th. And the link to that is on the dual enrollment page. We're not sending those out. We're not giving those out. You have to go to the dual enrollment page. It's the very top of the page. It says new for fall, academic support scholarship. The way you get that award is you apply prior to August 15th or the funding running out. And at this point, like I said, we do have sufficient funding. And then you get registered for classes and you pay all of your tuition except $250. And then we will apply the $250 to your remaining balance. Those scholarships will be transferred eventually. So we're working on that. That's just something that has to be done kind of manually. So we want to do it correctly. So it may not get done this week, but it will get done in the next couple of weeks. So if you've got questions about those scholarships or anything, please let us know. That pretty much covers what the workforce scholarships are.
All right. Thank you, Gwen. All right. So that's textbooks, workforce scholarship, locating parking and finding your classroom, viewing your schedule through OneACCS. We're going to go through that step by step here momentarily. How to get your student ID card, all those things. Which classes transfer, which classes won't? That's really an advising question. We encourage you guys to check with your future college or university, find out which classes you need. Usually those are like the general studies type classes that will transfer based on your specific major or program at your particular university. And every college and university may handle transfer credits differently. So it's a good idea to double check with them in advance before you make this commitment financially and academically. That's just a good idea. A lot of the general studies will transfer, but it's in your best interest to confirm that ahead of time. Which classes won't? Well, a lot of the career tech classes, like Gwen was talking about through the workforce scholarship, they are designed to help students fulfill degree requirements here at Calhoun, a 2-year Associate of Applied Science or a short-term certification, which helps you get a job in that field, but are not necessarily designed to transfer. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your enrollment in the classes that you're taking. If you are able to see kind of what the next few years are going to look like, that can help you determine that information. Again, ask us if you have questions. We'll be happy to confirm that. And then grading policies. Wes Harris kind of talked about that today with distance learning, but through Blackboard, it may not be an accurate assessment of your grade at that time. So your faculty, your instructor is your main point of contact when it comes to finding out what your grade is at that time in the semester. Be responsible for your grades and make sure you stay on top of that, and do that early on in the semester. The sooner you can get that information, the sooner you can have clarity about that. And a lot of students wait until the very last week of the semester and then ask about grades. And like Gwen said, it's hard for us to help you at that point in the semester because we've exhausted all of our options for withdrawing for classes and things like that. Do you have anything else to add?
If your homeschool or high school weights your grade, it may be different on your high school transcript than it is on your Calhoun transcript. 10 points can make a big difference to a final grade. So if you have when we do send grades to the schools, so if you get a grade and you look on your transcript from Calhoun and it's a C, and then you look at your high school transcript and it's a B, then you need to talk to your high school and find out if they weight the grades. If you look at your transcript and the grade is a 75 and the final grade is an F, then you need to talk to your instructor because they made a mistake, and that does sometimes happen, okay? Or if you question your grade, you can talk to your instructor about it right when the grades get transcripted. If you wait too long, there's nothing we can do about it. But just be aware that the schools do weight those grades sometimes, so the high school transcript may be a letter grade different than your college transcript.
All right, so important dates for dropping and adding classes, withdrawing from classes, that's all on the Calhoun website too, calhoun.edu. Again, click menu and then go to Calhoun, the second drop-down option. And then there's a class schedules and semester information link right there. If you scroll through here, if you want to look at other classes that we have to offer, you can click schedule of classes. It's a dynamic schedule. You can filter it and search. But those important dates are always listed usually right down here at the bottom. So you see fall semester, there's important dates. That will have information about when tuition is due, when the deadline that you could request a withdrawal would be, drop and add periods. So the drop and add period for the full fall semester running from August to December is the first 2 days of the semester, August 21st and August 22nd. That's a short drop and add period. You have the first 2 days of the full semester to notify our office if you would like to change your schedule in any way, dropping classes, adding classes. Beyond the drop and add dates, you are locked into those classes unless you request a withdrawal from those classes. And there are deadlines for withdrawals too. There are different deadlines for different semesters. So the full term, August to December, that's the full fall semester. There's mini terms too. So you may be in a mini term class, and a mini term means it's about half that semester. So there's first mini term from August to October, and there's second mini term from October to December. Make sure you're aware of those dates. You can check that information out here or ask us if you have any questions about it. Anything to add on that? All right, if you do need to request a withdrawal from your class, you guys as dual enrollment students will not be able to do that online. Every high school dual enrollment student will have what's called a dual enrollment hold on your account. It is specifically in place to prevent you guys from being able to change your schedules online per ACCS policy, meaning you just need to reach out and let us know. If you want to change your schedule, drop a class or add it, send us an email. That way we have documentation of your request and we can process that for you as long as your high school approves you to do so, or your homeschool counselor. Things change with plans. Things change with classes. You may have the intention to finish a class and it may not be what you expect. And that's okay too. Talk to your faculty, talk to us, and we'll help arrange something that can be to your advantage. But the withdrawals are like a grade. That's a W. It stays on your transcript. So that may impact your eligibility for SAP, for satisfactory academic progress, which has to do with financial aid and things like that. So all that information is in the Calhoun catalog. There's a lot of information in the catalog, but if you can be aware of that, you can make better decisions going forward. So My Calhoun portal and 1ACCS, let's get logged in. So again, calhoun.edu, main Calhoun website. You're going to click the My Calhoun link right up there up top. So for everybody here that is registered, you should do this at some point. Click My Calhoun. It's going to open up the page of login instructions, and you just click My Calhoun portal. This is then going to prompt you to log in. I've already logged in, but it's going to ask for your A number and your default password. So everybody should be emailed your A number. You probably received it after you applied for admission, but if you haven't, we may have sent it to you in an email correspondence as well. Your default password is the format exclamation, capital C, capital C, capital C, and then your 6-digit date of birth. So month, date, and the last 2 of your year. When you log in for the very first time, it's going to prompt you to immediately reset that password or re-put in that password that you just put in, and then set up your security questions. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. Those are where you set up your security questions, cell phone prompts. If you get locked out of your account, very common nowadays. You do need to complete those and then click the Go to My Applications to get back to this home screen. And it's going to look like it's logged you right back out that very first time you log in. It will. You have to log right back in, putting your A number and that same default format for your password in again. But when you do get it set up, you'll see this. This is the home screen. Yours will look a little different. You won't have this banner admin, but you may hear the term banner while you're a student here. Banner is our student record system. And students have access to Banner self-service. So that's a feature where you can get in and see your schedule, see your tuition charges, pay your tuition charges. If you graduate high school and transfer credits out, you can request your Calhoun transcripts through 1ACCS. We refer to that interchangeably, 1ACCS Banner self-service. But your login for Banner self-service is different from your My Calhoun portal. So if you look up in the top right corner of your home screen of your My Calhoun portal, you'll notice there's a Calhoun student email address listed right there. Mine's heath.dawes@calhoun.edu. That's very common format, first.last name @calhoun.edu. If you ever forget what it is, it will always appear right there. So why do we call this the portal? Because it gives you access to all of these apps that you need to navigate every semester. And the first one, Banner Self-Service or 1ACCS, is what we're going to get into next. So when you click that, it's going to ask you to log in with your Calhoun email. And your password is the same format that you used for My Calhoun portal. I've already logged in, and this is what the home screen looks like. Maybe not. Maybe it's going to log me out. Let's log back in. So when you log in, yours will look different from this as well. You should probably only have a personal info and a student tab. You're going to click the student tab. So let's start by just viewing your schedule. So you need to click student landing page, and this will open up another window browser. These are going to be our student services dashboard options. So as you see, there's student services and lots of bullet points here. You primarily need that third bullet point down that says registration to view your schedule. So click registration. It's going to open up another window, and I say look for the bright yellow folder that says view registration information. When you click that, it should open up your class schedule. So if you're registered for classes, you can confirm that just by logging in and viewing your schedule. It's snoozing on us. Okay. So student. All right. View registration information. All right, so if you're registered for a fall semester class like I appear to be, you'll see those classes listed here. It is your responsibility as a student to make sure you are registered for the correct classes. Although parents can be very helpful in this process, ultimately it is the student's responsibility. Now, we have that FERPA on the bottom of our program approval form. FERPA is the acronym Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. That means that your student's information is private and confidential, and we don't share that with anybody unless the student has designated parents. And we encourage our students to complete that because it can help having parents have access to your student account. But we do have to follow that. It is a law. So if you're giving your parents access, that's just going to make the process a lot easier. But students, log in, view your schedule, make sure you're in the correct classes. Your course details, if you click those right there, it will show you all the details about your class. So you can go down to instructor and meeting times and actually see when this class meets, where it meets, and which classroom it's in. So this is a Decatur campus class. There's my instructor's information. It meets Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 12:15 on the Decatur campus. And there's our classroom, Harris Hall, classroom 142. If you're not familiar with the campus that you're going to be taking classes at, go ahead and check out the campus map. Find which building you're in, where your parking may be, and then go check out your classroom so you know. Now, a lot of students won't do that until the very first day of class, show up and say, I'm lost, help, and that's okay too. We will help you with that, but it's good to be prepared and to find out where that is ahead of time and to make sure you are in the correct classes. If there's any classes not showing on your schedule and you're expecting to be registered, let us know as soon as possible because we have very limited time to finalize your registration. You can print a copy of your schedule by clicking that printer icon. And if you're wanting to get a student ID card or a parking decal, you do need to have a copy of your schedule. So you can print that or pull it up on your cell phone and show the admissions office, and they'll help you get your student ID card and your parking pass. Student ID cards are made in the student center. So downstairs in the lobby, there's a student ID card area. On the Huntsville campus, it's in the admissions office. So that's viewing your schedule. How do you view your tuition charges and pay tuition? Well, go down to the bottom bullet points down there that says make a payment, enroll in a payment plan, or add authorized users. This is where you can do those things. Pay and enroll in a payment plan if needed. Click that. If this is your very first time logging in, it's going to prompt you for two things to agree to. One is an electronic consent. Read that, print it, keep a record of it. Basically, it means that Calhoun will not send you bills in the mail or an invoice or anything like that. Students are responsible for logging in and paying their tuition all online. It's not paid through mail or anything like that. The second is a 1098-T consent. That's a tax document. So ask your accountant about that, but you have to agree or deny those. And then you'll see your tuition charges listed right there. So mine are $514. When you're ready to pay, you click make a payment or enroll in a payment plan if you're still eligible to do that. So that's viewing your schedule, paying your tuition. Let's say in the future you get ready to graduate, you want to request a transcript. You can click transcript, order official request. So there's many things you can do through this student account that you could do in person at the admissions office, but it's giving you access through your 1ACCS or Banner self-service. There's also a tab down here for My Degree. That links to our degree works. So if there's any students who are working on completing a degree or a short-term certification with us, get in there and play around with degree works. It shows you a breakdown of the classes you need to complete whatever degree you're working towards. If you're not familiar with it, it can be a little confusing. So we will be happy to help you with that. Our advisors can help you, and we'll put a plan in place to make sure you're on track to complete whatever it is you're seeking. All right, back to the My Calhoun portal. A few more things I'll touch, then we'll be done. So your Microsoft Outlook link right there, that's links to your Calhoun email. What's your Calhoun email address? Again, it's in the top right corner right there, but you should always log into your Calhoun email from the portal because it's a single sign-on. So when you log into that one, if you do it from your personal computer and save it, it's going to be pretty easy to get logged into this stuff, but you do need to click that link right there to access it. Your email is extremely important as a student through Calhoun with dual enrollment. I see a lot of students come to us middle of the semester saying, I didn't even know I had a Calhoun email. I don't check that. I take a class on my high school campus. Don't fall into those categories. Be responsible. Check your email. Stay on top of it because Calhoun sends important information to you. You probably get millions of emails, but these are specific to your enrollment here at Calhoun. You may even receive information about the workforce scholarship through your Calhoun email. So it's important to check that. And anytime you communicate with faculty, staff, or administration as a student, you are required to use it. So try to get in the habit of that. We'll help you with that if needed. Also, you have access to Microsoft 365, stuff you probably already have with a computer. Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, but that's part of what you pay for when you pay tuition and become a student. You have access to that. So if you're in an English class and you need Word to write a research paper, you've got access to it right here. There's even an IT help desk that gives you loaner laptops here at Calhoun. There's a technology support center. So if you need a laptop to do your classes, let us know. We'll connect you with that. But you have access to that there. Of course, distance learning went over Blackboard. STAR, that's the link to the tutoring if you want to sign up for tutoring. And the only other thing I'd really point out is this CCC alert here. That's the emergency notification. So if you are taking a class on campus, it may be helpful to be notified if we have a snow day or emergencies and campus closes before you drive to campus. That's whether you're in any class. So sign up for that. It usually activates around the first week of the semester, I believe. You can sign up your phone number, your parents' cell phone numbers, or email and get notified about that. Anything else you think we need to touch on? All right, so we've covered pretty much everything. Student email, how to view your schedule, how to pay your tuition. The academic support scholarship, Gwen covered that. You pay everything but $250. And then we'll zero out that as long as you've got your application in. If you have questions about it, let us know. We'll confirm. Their deadline has been extended to August 15th. And payment plan, we covered that. FERPA. Lastly, continuous eligibility and the appeals policy. Would you like to talk about continuous eligibility?
Okay, so to get into dual enrollment, you have to have 2.5 or 2.0 GPA. You have to meet any placement requirements. Once you're in the program, you have to meet our continuous eligibility standards, and that means you must make a C or higher in any classes that you take. If you make below a C or if you have to withdraw, then you are out of compliance with the continuous eligibility policy. So if you don't appeal it, then you're suspended for the program for a semester. You have to reapply to get back into the program. You can appeal to be allowed, like say you took a class, something happened with your family, you had to withdraw. You can appeal that, and withdrawal is a pretty much an automatic, automatically granted if it's not a tech class and not a scholarship class. You're cash paying, you pay for a class, you have to withdraw, you need to get back in the program, then it's pretty much an automatic the first time. The second time, it's pretty much an automatic that you're not going to have. You're going to have to serve your suspension. If you withdraw from or fail a scholarship class, you can still appeal to be allowed back into the class, but your scholarship funding has ended. So if you fail to make a C or higher, or if you have to withdraw from a scholarship funded class, then we cannot give you another scholarship. We have limited funding, and we have to make sure that we optimize this funding for students. And so that's just one of the things that we try to make you mindful of, is that you can't really fail or withdraw from a technical class. If you do, then you're not really eligible for funding in the future. If you appeal your continuous eligibility, that does not excuse you from policies regarding grades. So for example, if you there's some classes, English 101 is one. If you make a D in English 101, you can't go on to English 102. If you appeal and say, can I retake English 101, we can grant that. But if you appeal and say, can I be excused from having not passed English 101 and go on to English 102, you can't do that, okay? You have to follow the policies and the grading and everything. But the appeals policy does allow you to continue with dual enrollment if you want to do so. But regarding scholarship funding, there's just not an appeal to reactivate your scholarship funding. So that's pretty much, we're trying to be flexible and let students, not knock you out of the program for one failure or one F, but we do have to be mindful. These are state grant funds, and we do have to, we have to be really careful with how we spend those and how those are awarded. So hopefully that's not going to be something we have to worry about, but if you do, don't worry. It's not, if you do, or if you are struggling, please let us know, especially if you think that you may not pass a class. Let's go ahead and withdraw you. A W is better than an F every time. So that's pretty much the continuous eligibility policy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now the fun stuff. This is your opportunity to take advantage of a wonderful academic chance to get started with these college classes. Make it to your advantage. Interact with your instructor. Engage with campus activities. to the extent that you're comfortable. You know, this is a new process for a lot of students. You may not be there yet, and that's okay. Calhoun's here for you with wherever you're at in your academic journey. But as you've seen, there are people here to help you along the way in any way that we can. We are here because you guys are our students. We're a community college for that reason. We greatly appreciate your enrollment, your dual enrollment with us. We're here to help you. We are at your service in any capacity that we can be as far as your classes and all that goes. So let us know how we can assist you in the future. If we need to set up an appointment and talk about advising, talk about scheduling, things like that, we are happy to do that. But as she said, right now is our busy time, so it may be a little while until we get through fall registrations that we can start doing that. But if you would like to log in and view your schedule, feel free to do so. If you want to pay your tuition, things like that, I'd recommend doing that from a personal computer and not here. If there's any parents who need to pay tuition in person, you can go down and visit the cashier's window in the lobby of this building. There's a cashier's window in the Student Center at the Huntsville campus, so you can do that in person. But most people, you know, find it easier to pay online. It's totally up to you. If you want to get your student ID card printed, you can pull your schedule up and show that downstairs. They'll get that going for you. They just need to see a form of ID in addition to your schedule. Does anybody online or in person have any questions that we could field for you as we wrap up in our last 4 minutes here, keeping it right under an hour?
Heath, we do have 3 questions during this session that is in the chat window.
Okay. Sure. Well, let's take a look. All right. If you applied for the academic sports scholarship, is it guaranteed? Do we assume we got it if we applied for it when paying tuition? Gwen, do you want to answer that?
If you've already applied at this point, then you can assume that you're going to get the scholarship if you're registered for classes. If you applied and you haven't applied to the college, or if you applied and you haven't registered, you're not eligible until you register. And we can't make the award until you pay all of your tuition except $250. If you have already registered and paid your entire tuition and you applied for the scholarship, please let us know, okay? So that we don't, when we're going through looking and trying to make sure everybody gets the scholarship, that we don't skip you because you have a zero balance, okay? So if you have applied, registered, and paid your full tuition and know you have applied for the scholarship, then let somebody in our office know. If you don't know if you've applied for the scholarship or not, my advice to you is reapply, because if you email us today and say, did I apply for the scholarship? It may be next week before we get to your email. So if you don't know if you applied for the scholarship, submit another one if you need to, or resend it, because our inboxes are full and we're getting through emails as quickly as possible, but it's taking a day or two for all of us to get to all of our emails. So we don't want to miss your scholarship out. And so if you don't know if you've applied, reapply again. If you did apply, you should have gotten an email from me or Heath or Deb Ott, our secretary, that says, we've received your scholarship, go online, pay your tuition, and then you're going to get the award. So if you got that little short, brief, to the point, we've got your scholarship email, we've got your scholarship.
As a dual enrollment student, will the workforce scholarship cover required textbooks?
For technical classes only. And for academic classes, it pays tuition. So as far as the textbooks go, you will get an email from Carla Larry in the business office with the voucher attached. If you miss that email or don't answer it or don't fill out that voucher, then you won't get your textbooks. That's how you get your textbooks. You get the email from Carla, you fill out the voucher and send it back. She sends it to the bookstore and they call and email you when your textbooks are ready. And textbook charges don't start until the first a week of class. So if you haven't seen anything yet, it's because they're still working on all of that.
If enrolled in a math class, is it too late to add a tech class and get the workforce scholarship?
We would just have to evaluate. We're still accepting applications, but at this point we are pretty much done with funding. So we can look at it, but really you probably need to wait for the spring for the tech scholarship.
If a student is attending the Huntsville campus, do they need a parking pass? You mentioned printing out the schedule to get that, but where do we take the schedule to get a parking pass? You would take your schedule to the Student Center on either campus, Huntsville or Decatur, and to admissions on the Huntsville campus, in the lobby of the Student Center on the Decatur campus, and that's where they'll get their student ID card and parking pass created for you. Can dual enrollment tuition be paid with 529 funds?
Yes, you can pay that with 529 funds. What you'll need to do is send an email to us and then we will send it to Carla Larry, and she will contact you. First of all, she will verify that that your funds will pay for dual enrollment, and then she will contact you and tell you how to initiate that.
Is a student ID a good idea if classes are only taken online, not on campus? That's a great question. You're welcome to get that student ID card if you want it. It's a free resource. A lot of students tell me they use it to get discounts at movies or Amazon Prime, or just to feel official like you're a real college student. Having that student ID card makes it feel official. Help yourself to those resources. They're free. Take advantage of them, whether you're online or not, or even taking a class at your high school campus. Just show your other friends, hey, I'm in college. Cool. Will a recording of this presentation be made available? Yes. We are going to send this out. We're probably even going to have it on the Calhoun website on our dual enrollment page so that anybody can go back and watch this and see how much fun we've had today. Stop sharing your screen. I have a chemistry course that requires a lab. Where can I find the dates for when I need to visit this lab? Your class schedule should show you the times and dates that that class and lab meet. If you log in and view your schedule, you should be able to see those. Now, when class starts, that's another good question for your faculty. Ask your instructor, get clarification on that. Even if you're in a hybrid class, so part of the class is online, part of the class is in person, get clarification on that. Read your course description for the class that you're enrolled in. See what the scheduled times are, and talk to your instructor if you have questions about that. These are great questions. Correct email to ask for a book vouch. You can email Gwen or me or Deb Ott, and we will help you confirm your status. Share the email address to the person who was mentioned for the 529. If you go to the Calhoun website, calhoun.edu, you're going to be able to find all of our faculty, administration, and staff contact information by going to Why Calhoun, faculty and staff directory, and then you can sort it by department. So that's a business and finance contact, and Ms. Carla Larry's contact information is listed right there. Did not receive the email that scholarship form was received as it was sent by the guidance counselor. How do we verify? Good question. Email us and ask us. We will confirm if that was received, whether it was submitted by your counselor or the student. Well, I need to renew my ID card and need a parking pass. I think your parking decal has an expiration date on it. You may want to check that. Your student ID card should be good for the life of your college career here as a dual enrollment student, at least. Do we need a parking pass just to come to the bookstore? No, you don't. You can visit campus at any time and park anytime on campus, but it helps protect your vehicle if you have a decal in there as a student. So it may be something you want to get. I think that's all the questions we have.
If you get an email or something in the mail from Bank Mobile, that is the financial institution that Calhoun uses to process refunds. Most of you guys are not going to be eligible for a refund. If you paid your full tuition and you're going to get the $250 scholarship, that's going to just be a refund back to the card that you paid. Bank Mobile handles refunds for students who get federal financial aid and other types of aid. You can set up a Bank Mobile account and go ahead and set it up now if you think you're coming to Calhoun in the future. But Bank Mobile is just what we handle refunds for. So it may say on the front of it, you may be eligible for a refund. You're probably not. That was what, I don't know if any of you guys were here, had students here, but back during COVID when we had some AAR grants for students, those were managed through Bank Mobile. But if you just pay too much or you drop a class and you need to get a refund for tuition paid in that way, you're going to get a refund back to the card on which you pay.
Great questions. We really appreciate you guys asking. Question in the back.
What is the cutoff date for tuition payment? Is it first day courses start in August, or is it what is that?
Let's look on that page that we see the tuition dates, deadlines for important dates. I believe it's listed here as tuition and fees due for all sessions by August 8th. Good question. Any others? Yes, ma'am.
She's taking 3 classes. 2 of them are with the Workforce Development Grant. Can she apply for the academic support for the 3 classes?
It's one or the other.
When did you say that email from Carla would go out for the textbook vouchers?
You should have already received it, but now we have a handful of students who we haven't got their funds transferred yet. Okay. So before you leave, just give me the name and I'll make sure. Because if you registered before the 24th of July, you should have gotten something from Carla.
Okay, thank you very much.
We appreciate everyone's time being here and your participation in dual enrollment. And we hope you have a great, successful school year coming up. We'll begin spring registrations around October timeframe. So if you didn't get into classes you wanted this fall, let's look at next semester. Win anything to wrap up?
I think that's all. Just thank you guys. Have a great semester. Let us know if you need anything. And again, please be patient for the next 2 weeks or so because our inbox runneth over.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Boyd.